My sister's birthday cake was a lie, just like her smile, and I was about to burn it all down. The candles flickered, casting shadows on the faces of our family, oblivious to the bomb I held in my heart. By the end of the night, I'd either be the villain or the hero, but either way, Emma would never forget her 30th birthday. I'm Lily, the younger sister, the one always trailing in Emma's perfect shadow. Growing up, she was the golden child, straight A's, prom queen, the daughter who could do no wrong. I was the messy one, the dreamer, the one who forgot her lines in the school play and tripped over her own ambition. But I loved Emma, even when her pedestal felt like a cage for me. Her birthday party was supposed to be a ceasefire, a night to mend the cracks in our sisterhood. She invited me to her fancy house, all white marble and chandeliers, with her perfect boyfriend Mark and our entire family, Mom, Dad, Aunt Clara, Uncle Joe, and even Grandma Rose, who never leaves her recliner. I thought maybe, just maybe, we'd laugh like we used to, back when we'd sneak cookies and whisper secrets under the covers. I was wrong. The evening started with champagne and small talk, everyone dressed in their Sunday best. Emma floated through the room, her red dress hugging her like she'd stepped out of a magazine. Mark, her tech bro boyfriend, hovered at her side, all charm and polished smiles, his Rolex catching the light. I wore my best thrift store dress, feeling like an imposter among the crystal glasses. But I was trying, really trying, to be part of her world. Then came the toast. Emma stood at the head of the table, glass raised, her smile sharp as a blade. Here's the thing about Emma, she doesn't just cut, she carves. To family, she said, her voice sweet as syrup, and to those who try so hard to keep up. The room laughed, thinking it was a joke, but her eyes locked on mine, and I felt the sting. She wasn't done. Lily, and bless her heart, always has big dreams, but we all know she's still figuring it out. Right. Sis, the words hit like a slap, and the room went quiet. Mom shifted in her seat, Dad coughed, and Grandma Rose muttered something about manners. My face burned. I could have shrunk, could have let her win like always. But something snapped. I'd spent years swallowing her jabs, her little comments about my cute job at the bookstore, my adorable apartment, my interesting choices. Not tonight. I stood, my chair scraping the floor, and raised my glass. To Emma, I said, my voice steady, who's so perfect she forgot to mention her boyfriend's little secret. The air froze. Emma's smile faltered, and Mark's face drained of color. I didn't plan to go there, but the words were out, and there was no going back. See, I'd known about Mark for months. We worked at the same bookstore before he got his fancy tech job, and he'd confided in me one late night over coffee. He cheated on Emma, not once, but twice, with a coworker during their perfect relationship. He swore he'd changed, begged me not to tell, said it would destroy her. I kept his secret, not for him, but for Emma. I didn't want to break her heart, but now, with her smug smile and the family's eyes on me, I didn't care about protecting her anymore. Mark, I said, turning to him, why don't you tell everyone about your late nights at the office? Or should I? The room exploded into whispers. Emma's glass trembled in her hand. What are you talking about? She hissed, but her voice cracked, betraying her fear. Mark stammered. Lily, don't. But it was too late. I laid it all bare. The coworker, the texts, the hotel receipts I'd seen when he left his phone unlocked at work. I didn't shout. I didn't need to. The truth was loud enough. Emma's face crumpled, and for the first time, I saw her without her armor, raw, vulnerable, human. Mom gasped. Dad swore under his breath, and Aunt Clara started asking questions nobody wanted to answer. Mark tried to explain, but his words were a jumble of excuses, each one weaker than the last. Emma didn't cry. She just stared at me, her eyes a storm of hurt and fury. You're jealous, she spat. You've always been jealous of me. Maybe she was right. Maybe part of me envied her life, her confidence, her ability to make everyone love her. But this wasn't about jealousy. It was about truth. I'd spent years tiptoeing around her, letting her define me as the lesser sister. Tonight, I was done. I'm not jealous. I said, I'm tired. Tired of you thinking you're better than me, better than everyone. You wanted to humiliate me in front of the family. Well, now we're even. The room was a battlefield, and I'd fired the last shot, but victory didn't feel good. Emma turned and walked out, her heels clicking on the marble floor. Mark followed, muttering apologies to no one in particular. The family sat in stunned silence, the birthday cake untouched, its candles burned to stubs. Grandma Rose, of all people, broke the tension. Well, she said, sipping her wine, that was more exciting than my soaps. A nervous laugh rippled through the room, but I didn't join in. I felt hollow. I'd won. But at what cost? The rest of the night was a blur. Mom tried to mediate, Dad stayed quiet, and Aunt Clara kept asking for details I didn't want to give. I left early, driving home in the rain, my hands shaking on the wheel. I kept replaying Emma's face, the way it broke when I spoke. I'd wanted to hurt her, to make her feel what I felt, but now I wondered if I'd gone too far. The next morning, my phone buzzed with a text from Emma. You didn't have to do that. No anger, no accusations. Just those 5 words. I stared at them, my chest tight. I wanted to reply, to say I was sorry, but I didn't. Instead, I went to work, shelving books, trying to lose myself in routine, but the guilt followed me. I started questioning everything. Had I kept Mark's secret too long? Should I have told Emma privately? Before it came to this, was I really the sister who ruined her birthday? Or was she the one who pushed me to the edge? Days passed, and the family group chat was silent. No one knew how to bridge the gap. Then, a week later, Emma showed up at my apartment. No makeup, no red dress, just jeans and a hoodie, her eyes red from crying. Why didn't you tell me, she asked, her voice soft. Why did you wait until everyone was there? I didn't have a good answer. I told her about Mark confiding in me, how I didn't want to hurt her, how her toast pushed me over the edge. She listened, her hands twisting in her lap. I didn't mean to make you feel small, she said finally. I don't know how to be your sister sometimes. You're so different from me. It was the most honest thing she'd ever said. We talked for hours, peeling back years of resentment. She admitted she envied my freedom, my ability to live without caring what others thought. I admitted I envied her confidence, her success. We weren't fixed, not by a long shot, but it was a start. Emma broke up with Mark that week. She didn't tell me details, and I didn't ask. But I saw a change in her. She was quieter, less polished, more real. Our family dinners were awkward at first, but Grandma Rose kept things light, cracking jokes about her soaps. Slowly, we rebuilt. I learned something that night: truth is a double-edged sword. It can cut through lies, but it can also wound the ones you love. I don't regret what I did, but I regret how I did it. Emma and I are still figuring out how to be sisters, but we're trying, and that's something. So, what do you think? Was I right to spill Mark's secret in front of everyone? Or should I have handled it differently? Was Emma's toast a harmless jab, or did she cross a line? Share your thoughts. I want to hear where you stand on what's right and wrong in this mess. Cariano.